My cats have now gotten to be in something.
Shown me that I need a home studio.
She'd have like a black, what is it, the American, like a black card? Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah.
In the world of Remnant, there's a version of Steve Jobs.
No, I take it back.
Was he gonna... in the wine?
Now, coverage like no other. Bringing you videos from the event floor. You're watching convention coverage.
First time ever. Growing up in the middle of Alaska, you don't get anime conventions, so this is like extra cool.
Where about in Alaska, if I may ask?
I like Anchorage.
Anchorage? Okay.
Yeah, middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's not above the circle or anything.
Oh, no, like Nome.
Yeah.
No, not from Nome.
It's quite the hike. Yeah. Oh yeah, welcome back everybody. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Welcome to you guys for being at the panel. Thank you very much.
Yeah, last time we were here was, I think, 2018.
I know, 4 years ago. Before, that was before.
That was 4 years ago?
That was 4 years. Yeah.
No, it's been a while. I mean, with the
Right,
the
January
convention center.
2018. 3 years? No. Wait, 2018, 2019, 2019, 2020,
Yes, 4 years.
2020, 2021, 2021, 2022. 4.
On this episode of
Ha.
Kara Does Math.
People were doing 3. I'm like, Weiss will show you.
Now, we're very happy to be back. We're very happy to have you guys as guests at our show. Thank you once again. But hey, what have you guys been up to?
Just trying to be safe, I guess.
I didn't hear the question.
What have we been up to?
I went back to college and I recently graduated last
Yay,
month.
that's amazing.
What'd you go for?
I have a communication studies degree. I almost graduated. I had 2 years of Spanish and like a history class left, but my advisor messed up on some credits, and that's when I was working at Rooster Teeth, and I got a full-time job offer, and so I just did that and worked in the business world for like 10 years, and then finally like provided an opportunity for me to do online classes for the past year. So yay, finally did it.
Very cool. That's amazing.
I've been working from home. I've been adapting scripts and acting for a mobile game called Tales of Luminaria, which Cherami is working on as well.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
He does such a great job, writing and acting. It's so
Thank
good. Yeah.
Likewise, well, the acting.
Yeah, not the writing. I don't write on that. That'd be cool though. But it's overwhelming. I don't know how you guys keep it organized. This project is like a monster.
Yeah. It's like tens of thousands of lines.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been a lot. It's been like my life. It's been like life consuming, for sure.
Yeah, same. I've been working a lot from my home. And my cats have appeared in multiple anime and live action dubs because they will meow. And if it's clean, they say, can we bank that and use it if there's a cat in the show? So both of my cats have now gotten to be in something. And I've told people that, and they're like, did they pay your cats? And I was like, no. They're like, you're a terrible stage mother. You just exploited your cats. They worked for free. I was like, well, they interrupted the session. So.
That's awesome.
What do they charge per hour?
Ooh, that's so good. Look, they are not going to be excited. They've really enjoyed me not traveling for conventions. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Whenever they see the suitcase coming out, this time they were like, oh, no. So they both sat in it. And then when I closed it, they sat on it. Like, well, can't get in now, can you? So it'll be interesting.
First class treatment now?
Yeah. They're like, no, we have to go with you. They would not do well at all.
That's cute. That's awesome. I mean, luckily, been still been able to stay busy, not have to worry about it. I mean, has the dynamic from working from home been an issue, or?
I don't think it's really been an issue necessarily for what a lot of us do with voice acting. I think a lot of voice actors are lucky enough to have a home studio. I know also our studio at Rooster Teeth has been taking a lot of safety precautions, so there's only one voice director, one actor in at a time, and they sanitize everything and make sure everyone is safe. So luckily they've adjusted things as necessary to keep us all safe and and clean. But yeah, I don't think it's affected too much. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, the production schedule in like Japan has stayed really steady somehow. So there's still been a steady influx of anime for us to adapt. It's just that, yeah, more of us work from home now. There was a point where dubbing from home got really weird.
Yeah.
Because they were giving us all iPads
Yep.
and like little sort of USB mics to plug into the iPads. And then like, you know, everyone was doing it. So like some people were just like sticking a blanket over their head and like, how does this sound? You know? And the really weird part of it was that your director couldn't hear you on the talkback. So they could hear you, you were like on the phone with your director basically, and then you'd record and they'd hear you that time, but then they couldn't play it back to double check how you sounded. So they would ask you to do it, and then the director would ask you, so how did that sound?
And then sometimes they were teaching us to kind of do a quick edit. They'd be like, if you did 2 passes, they'd say, so if you sync that up, would that fit? I'm like, I don't know. So you're like trying to zoom in and edit with your fingers on an iPad. It was very awkward. So I'm very glad we don't have to do that anymore. But I will say there were a couple times that I gave so many alts, and I got an email that was like, Cherami, you've given us 27 alts. They all fit. Just let us have 3. We don't want to listen to all of them. But I wanted to make sure they had choices, because I don't trust myself. But yeah, I think what's been difficult for me is, I mean, yes, it's great and I've been able to talk to everybody, but I just miss getting to see people's facial expressions and getting to see directors when we go in. And I mean, the silly water cooler stuff of like, in between we have 5 minutes and we go get tea and you get to say like, oh, how's your kids doing? And how's your family? And is everybody, we don't really have any of that. When we have like a 5-minute break, everybody turns off the mic and goes to the restroom, gets coffee, gets tea, whatever, and then we come back and we start working immediately. So all those little conversations where we kind of get to be friends and human beings, we kind of lose that working from home, because if there's a dropout, every moment of the session is precious if internet goes out or whatever else. So I definitely miss that and getting to see everybody and hang out. And that's one of the things that I feel like we've missed doing virtual conventions. Like I haven't gotten to see anybody in person. So that's really special to get to be here in person and see everybody.
I think the shown me that I need a home studio. Everyone else has one, and I don't. It's not fair. So I'm this close now to being done with it.
Ooh, amazing.
It's taken me this whole to just like inch closer and closer, and it's gonna feel awesome.
Yeah.
So my question is, if you could meet your RWBY character, how would you interact with them? Like, what is a scenario you two would?
Oh, we'd be like best friends. We'd be like best friends immediately. We'd be talking about cute boys and painting our nails, and it'd be awesome and really annoying for everybody around us.
I feel like that would be the most wholesome thing ever.
Agreed, totally.
Penny and Taylor are just like,
Yeah.
I also agree with that for myself and Yang. I was about to say Barbara and Yang, talk about myself in the third person. I feel like I would want to take workout advice from her and go to the gym with her and just maybe like ride on the back of her motorcycle, even though I'm terrified of motorcycles in real life. So that's something that me and Yang do not have in common. But yeah, I think we would be best friends and I would be very intimidated by her the whole time.
I don't know if I would likewise in real life. I don't know. I don't know if I have like the patience to tolerate her and whatnot. No, and all, I think, but she would be great to go shopping with, I'm sure. Like,
Absolutely.
You know, she'd have like a black, what is it, the American, like a black card? Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Get all the Papa Schnee's money. Put it to good use. And I would also ask for her fashion advice, because I'm not very fashionable, and I think Weiss definitely is. So a little bit of that, then I'd be like, all right, cool, thanks, nice to meet you. Bye. Good luck. Be nice to RWBY. I get along with RWBY and everybody else really well, but Weiss.
That's fair.
That's
I know
hilarious.
too much about her.
With Oscar, I think I'd try to give him just a big, comforting hug.
Oh my God, same.
Just, oh, buddy. And then I'd probably, accidentally, squeeze on, a broken rib. And I'd, oh, sorry. Sorry. Didn't mean to aggravate your wounds. Yeah.
It's funny that you said that because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, if I met Ilya, and then I was like, oh my God, I just want to hug her. Yeah, I think I would ask Ilya for advice on just confidence and owning who you are, and boundaries, because I think Ilya knows exactly who she is, and there's no apology for that. And I think as an actor, we play so many different characters that sometimes there is an element of which version of myself should I show in this session or in this moment? And with Ilya, there's no wavering there. She is who she is, and there's something really great about that I would say, tell me your ways, Ilya.
If I saw Ilya, I'd be like, I'm watching you.
Absolutely. As you should. That is the correct answer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
That's an amazing scythe, by the way.
It is so good. The whole look is incredible.
Hello, everyone, again. The question is actually more to the technical side, and it's actually one of the devices, the scrolls. And it's been mind-boggling me for a little bit, what's the power supply to the scrolls?
Well, in the world of Remnant, there's a version of Steve Jobs who invented the iScroll way back when. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the scrolls and all the technology they use in the show I think is so cool, and I think that's one of the really special things about RWBY is the weapons and the technology and all the stuff that we can't really explain, but they somehow have figured it out. So maybe someday we'll have technology similar to that. I don't know.
Something to do with dust.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like,
Three things I could think of it might have a different battery, or it's powered by dust, or it's solar powered.
Yeah, one of the three.
It's gotta be dust, right? Or there's somebody who their semblance can power scrolls, and Ironwood just keeps them in a dungeon somewhere.
That's good. That's good.
You're not turning them off.
Yep.
There's my theory.
Now you just made the whole series dark for some reason.
I was gonna make a really bad joke about that's what they're doing with Pyrrha.
So, the tone between Volume 3 and Volume 4, there's just, a huge shift in the story where it goes from being a little slice of life fantasy high to more intense, more high stakes. How did that tone shift play out? What was it like behind the scenes? Did you feel like your performance had to change? Did the atmosphere around the studio change? And also how far in advance were you told that the plot was gonna shift like that? What was that like?
We definitely knew what was coming. For a lot of us, we actually know a lot of the major plot points that happen within RWBY, and you're never gonna get it out of us, so don't try. But I think as an actor, it's always really exciting whenever you're given the opportunity to completely shift how your character feels and what they've been through, because it challenges you as a performer to take a character you've been playing a certain way for such a long time and completely turn them around. So I know for me and with Yang, it was really fun to explore a whole other side of her and to really challenge myself to be this very, a traumatized and emotionally scarred almost version of Yang versus the very happy-go-lucky version I was playing before. So I'm not gonna say it was fun or anything like that because it was obviously a huge tonal shift, but I can't lie, it was very exciting to watch everyone's reaction to the end of Volume 3 because we knew people would have an extreme reaction to everything that happened, and just to see how invested people were in the story and the characters was really exciting for us as people who work on the show, just to see how much you guys love it and just how it affected you, and just to take you along for the ride. It was really cool.
It's awesome. Yeah, I echo all of that as well. I really think that it was kind of a turning point for all of our characters where we really get to see kind of the other side of all of them as outside of the school, really. And I think that's something that we were learning, as voice actors too, not only about our characters, but learning how, as Barbara was saying, kind of to adapt to this different, feeling, a different state of being that our characters were in. That was a challenging thing, because it's something that they weren't like before, previously, that we had done in the previous seasons. But that being said, I was really proud, of Weiss, though, in season 4, at the fundraiser scene. I've always said that's my favorite. I've always said that's my favorite scene. I swear I'm a voice actor. And it was great, though, as reading it and seeing the lines like, Weiss turns, to, Papa Schnee or, whatever, Jacques, and says, shut up, everybody. And I was like, oh my gosh, she says shut up in front of, her dad to everybody at, her party.
Do we both get to say shut up in the show?
I love to. I love to say shut up. Shut up.
Shut up!
Shut up. It was great. So then she ends up, saying that nothing, all you guys care about is your clothes and money. None of that means anything. And I just feel like that's a big turning point for her. She finally stood up for herself. And that was really a proud moment, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's always a fun experience when people get to grow with their characters. And yeah, I think we all got to experience that in some form or fashion.
I am so bad at recognizing voice actors. Were you on the show before you were brought in to voice Oscar?
I auditioned for Oscar.
Oh.
But I will say, so normally when I do an audition, I'll watch one episode of the property, and then I will do the audition and I will forget it ever happened until I get cast or don't. But with RWBY that didn't happen, because the first episode was only 5 minutes, so of course I needed to watch another.
Yep.
And then I'd watch the entire first 2 seasons.
Yep.
And then I did the audition, and then I watched whatever else was out, and then I just sat refreshing my Gmail inbox.
Did you get the part? Did you get the part?
What they say.
Okay, so you already had some knowledge of RWBY going in.
Yeah.
What was it like coming into the project late? Was that hard to adapt, or did you just kind of slide right in?
Yeah, so obviously, Oscar didn't have to do that shift you're talking about, but it was nice to know what was going down and sort of what I was feeding into with the narrative. I think the deal is, if you're gonna be willing to invest yourself in a character and in their struggles and their hardships, you need to have gotten some good energy out of them first. If you just throw nothing but tragedy at an audience, they're gonna be like, okay, this character's a sinking ship, I should dissociate. Unless they're a really good person, and bless any of you who have that capacity, but that's how I am with fiction. So I think that the first 2 seasons of RWBY did a really good job of sort of building up that bank of good memories with these people so that everyone was willing to watch them suffer. I don't know, for 5 seasons? And counting? Yeah. So that was fun.
True.
Cool.
As a viewer, Oscar just suffered from moment 1. But he kind of suffers in pseudo-comedic ways.
Sure.
I don't know, maybe I'm just awful. I mean, I am just awful. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Anyway.
You're like, this is the only person who can play this character.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Mine's kind of a simple technical question. How did you settle on the voice for your character? What was in 10 words or less, what was the thought process that you went through?
Oh gosh, Penny's voice is my natural voice, and that's why I was asked to be Penny. That's why I auditioned, and going in, I kind of knew that they already wanted me, just because I also had a tendency to over-enunciate a little bit, and Monty was like,
We need a robot
Yeah.
girl.
And finding the right voice was more just finding that very correct way of speaking that Penny uses, which was very easy for me.
I had a very similar experience. I actually, when I first auditioned for Yang, I've never voice acted before that. And so in my mind, I thought voice acting meant you had to change your voice to sound like something else. I didn't think, oh, I could just use my natural speaking voice. And so I actually auditioned for Yang with a much higher pitch. And Miles and Carrie and Monty said, well, why don't you just try her like with your normal voice? And I said, okay. And they're like, that's it. That's what we want. And then made life a lot easier for me.
For Wise, I know, oops, that was my phone. It's okay, it didn't break. I'm so graceful, just like her. No, which I am not. I knew we wanted, Monty and I, or Monty was speaking with me, and we wanted to hit a tone that wasn't somewhere between like, you know, Valley Girl and not Mean Girls-y without sounding, you know, too know-it-all, but also just kind of that little bit of like innocence because she is young and doesn't know. So it took a long time to just kind of, I just sat in my closet with I had never voice acted before or anything either. I sat in my closet in my like apartment, 10 years ago, whatever it was, that often just had my sound recording on, and I just said the same line over and over again, just like trying to feel the right way, and I'd play it back, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, this sounds genuine. And I was like, where did that come from? Like, where did I go to reach that? So it was hard at first to be consistent, I guess. But once I had, found that and found Wise, it, kind of comes naturally now, considering I feel like Wise is a part of me.
Aww.
Even though I'm, we wouldn't get along in real life. It's fine.
They did that thing from Dragon Ball Z where they...
Oh, that's cute.
Exactly.
Oscar is kind of my customer service voice. I used to work at World Market, and so it's
What?
Hi, I'm non-threatening and technically male.
I need all of your stories from World Market. Oh my gosh.
Have I gone on about that before?
Your World Market?
Yeah.
No, that's what I was saying. I need
you
all
wanna
of the
hear
stories from
Got
World
it.
Market. Yeah. That's so exciting.
I got a couple. Yeah, there's a guy who came through. He had 6 young women with him.
Okay.
And
What kind of World Market
he was
there?
buying a box of wine and a rubber ducky.
As
And
you
I
do.
said, interesting shopping choices. And he said, it's gonna be a good night.
No, I take it back.
Was he gonna bathe in the wine with the rubber, or was he gonna drink the wine and then...
I don't know if I want to know.
We'll never know.
How did you, oh God. How did you go home and proceed with your evening? I would have obsessed and been like, should I have called someone? Like, is it irresponsible for me that I let them leave? Are they okay? Is he okay? This would have haunted me for days.
Oh, it did.
You guys know those signs that say, please excuse me while I overthink this? That is me.
See something, say something.
Oh, I overthink literally everything. Everything. Including this audition, actually. They reached out to me and said, hi, would you like to audition for RWBY? And I said, yeah, obviously. But they started with we don't know if you've heard of this show that we work on called RWBY. And I was like, is it inappropriate if I respond back haha, that's so funny. I've seen all of it. He's that uncomfortable. So I was like, no, I'm very familiar. I'm a big fan of the show. I would love to audition. And then they sent a couple characters over, and Ilya was one of them. And I was like, I would be happy with any of these. But I have this really bad habit of any time I get an audition, it sits in the inbox forever.
I do that too.
Because once I send it, it's over. And it stays alive while it's in the inbox. You get what I'm saying? So and then once I do the audition, it's well, that's the best we could do. We had such expectations for that, and now it's this. So I always get very shocked anytime anybody's like, hey, you got the job. And I'm like, whew, I was scared. I thought this was the end. So I sent in the auditions, and I didn't hear anything. And then it had been like a couple weeks, and I was like, oh man, is it too much? So I emailed again, and I was like, if you guys have any notes, oh, that's what it was. They said, we'll give you some notes before you audition. And I read the Ilya sides, and I was like, this is too good. I have to do it now. And then I sent it off, and I was like, now they think you can't follow directions because you sent it off too early. So I waited 2 weeks, and then I was like, if this was totally wrong, I'm happy to take notes, because I was obsessing for the 2 weeks, but I didn't want to be like too eager. And they were like, oh, no, you got it. And I was like, oh, you don't have to. I like thought they were like felt bad. So how the Ilya voice came up is I was like, oh my God, this character is so beautiful and so tragic, and it's like a very deep, she's very strong, but she's, very emotionally tortured. She's got a lot going on. So it was a very grounded voice. And I knew that I was going to have to, I knew I, as Cherami, was going to cry voicing the character. And I'm just so thankful that they were okay with Ilya crying as well. I think most of those shows that I work on, they're like, Cherami's doing this, the character's going to cry. We're just going to have to be okay with it. Like, it's just going to happen. But yeah, so I overthought the entire process. And that's how Ilya came to be.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm still concerned about those people in the world market, Aaron. I'm not gonna be okay. If I see a rubber ducky and a box wine together, I'm gonna be like, where?
It's the combination that makes it strange.
That's just...
It's, at least there wasn't like a cucumber or anything like that in the movie.
I was expecting like bubble bath.
I don't know. I'm just really... I'm really concerned.
Anyways, kids panel, hello. Family friendly.
Hi.
Hi. Oh God, I'm gonna be thinking about this for the next couple of weeks. Thank you, Aaron, thank you. 2 things first. Congratulations, Taylor, on your first con. And Cherami, same, only overthinking, because
Oh,
same.
man.
Everything.
My husband and my mom will go, you don't... It's done. It's fine. Nobody else is thinking about it. I'm like, I can see them. They're thinking I'm a terrible person. He's
right.
like, they're not at all. They don't care.
Yep.
They don't even see you. That's what I do on a regular basis.
Same.
I get it.
Yep, same. My mom's like, shut up, stop.
2022 is
enough.
our year. We'll overthink a little bit less. It's never going to be eradicated. Just a little bit less.
But okay, so my question is not if, good gracious. See, overthinking.
I get it.
For either your character or any other character in the show, is there something you want that you want to happen to them, with another character? I don't care. Is there something you are looking forward to or want to happen for them?
Weiss
so
and
bad?
Jean, White Knight, all the way. I've said that since the beginning. I will always say that.
Thank you.
I still have hope. I still have hope.
I think a food tasting montage.
Ooh, delightful.
Oh, can you imagine, like, Penny going to restaurants and trying food for the first time, and just the explosion happening in her brain?
That would.
How about a food blog
Only.
so that you would
Why
have to do multiple
why didn't
food
that
tasting
happen?
montages?
Spinoff coming on.
Maybe a chibi episode.
Oh, yes, please.
There are some obvious answers I could say that are buzzing in my head. It's crazy. I would love a beach episode of any sort. I mean, it's an anime. You gotta have a beach episode.
You do,
at some point.
yeah.
It's just like, but yeah, no, I don't know. I love being along for the ride with the show. So it's like there's tons of stuff I could say. Like I hope this character experiences this or does this, but honestly, I'm just happy with whatever the writers choose to do because they're so great at crafting the storyline, and I just love seeing what happens. I love only reading my scene so I could watch the other scenes and be completely blind to it and just be surprised, so it's a ton of fun.
I'd like Oscar to make a friend.
We're your friends!
Okay, this This isn't a Oscar doesn't see them as friends. This is I've watched the show and multiple times the friends get together and Oscar's not there.
That's very sad.
He's off with the adults,
It's
allegedly.
not RWBY.
Would a friend not run after you after being taken by a Grimm?
That's an ally, a comrade.
Maybe Oscar has a job.
RWBY with Oscar would be like Rubio.
Maybe Oscar's at work.
I don't think he does have a job.
Well,
I mean, he could be.
maybe we could see, that's what we could see is Oscar's other life when his friends are doing things. Like, what is Oscar?
Oscar's friend is work.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Oscar's a workaholic.
Same.
Look, hey, yeah.
I need friends. I have purpose.
Look, exactly. I would say there's a lot of things that I hope for, and I always, whenever I work on anything, I will imagine, again, overthink, what's going to happen for my characters in the future. And then when the writers do something that's different, I'm like, oh, this was so much better. So I just got to trust them and whatever journey they think the character should go on, because it's far better than anything I could imagine, because they have the whole scope. And even though I can see the show, most of what I'm concerned with and most of my vantage point is my character. So I trust their ultimate vision as they're creating everything.
Awesome. Thank you.
I thought of one other thing I want to see. I want to see Yang and Sun wrestle.
That is a
so
need.
Good.
Coming for him.
That's so good.
I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
You too.
Thanks.
I feel like someone would cheat.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, Sun.
Hi. So I also work in customer service, so the way that you're using your customer service voice for Oscar, also really awesome. So I know you guys did a comic book with the Justice League too. So I was also just curious to see like what kind of character would you see your character from RWBY be best friends with in the Marvel superhero universe?
In Marvel?
Yeah, in Marvel.
Oh.
Oh, in Marvel, not DC? I want to say Captain America just because he's my favorite, but I can definitely see that being more of a Yang. So you could have Captain America.
Yang will take all the fellas. Yeah, that's America's ass right there. Man, I feel like Yang and Thor would be a pretty
Oh, that's fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gauntlet versus Hammer. I don't know what would come out on top, but probably is Hammer. Let's go.
Can I
We'll
pick
never know.
Iron Man?
Yeah.
That's cute.
Obviously, right? That'd be so cool.
Is Black Widow Marvel?
Yeah.
I know. Well, I know who mine is.
Does that make sense? I'm trying to think. I say her. Yeah, would that work?
Yeah.
Utter silence, that means no?
You don't need
Okay.
our approval.
No, yeah.
I was like, does that make sense? I forgot what happened
It's your
to
world.
Black Widow. Would she be her friend?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Yes.
I say Yelena from Black Widow would be Ilya's friend. I feel like they have a lot in common.
They are very similar.
I haven't seen Black Widow.
It's just hard to imagine. I want to imagine it, but I'm just really, really struggling
Jarvis?
with it.
What about?
I also, I don't know that character. I haven't watched that much
I
Marvel.
feel like, look, Jarvis loves a lot of people. And I feel like Jarvis would tolerate Oscar.
Great, we'll take it. Yeah, Jarvis. Yeah.
Or Groot. Look, Groot.
Yeah,
Groot.
Groot would love you.
Yeah. If Groot wants to express disdain, it's going to sound the same for Oscar as Joy. So
There we go.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Tom Holland's Spider-Man
That's also a good point.
and
Oh,
Oscar
yeah.
would be a really good
to
match.
sort of gather misfits.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Both
Yeah.
that really like
Spider-Man.
young, fun energy.
Yeah.
And he's like extroverted enough for both of us. Yeah.
Sure.
Just sort of rope me in to whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good one.
Look, we got a lot of friends for you. We got a lot of friend options.
We're friends for Oscar.
You're just in the wrong universe.
Need to swap universe.
Yeah. There you go.
Thanks, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your con.
Now I want to see Iron Man and Penny
Oh, that'd be
together.
so cool. It's flying. Oh man.
You look fantastic, but I got very nervous all of a sudden.
Thank you. That's what I go for. First off, I just want to say you're all fantastic. You are also very talented in everything you do. So my question is, when obviously Rooster Teeth first got big, it was just a bunch of dudes messing around with Halo, recording funny dialogue, and then it's gone from that to crazy action scenes, to a popular web series, to another series that got people like Michael B. freaking Jordan and David Tennant in it. Do you ever just look back and think to yourself, is this a dream?
Yes. All the time, yeah. I was a huge fan of Rooster Teeth growing up, so the fact that I get to work at the company and voice in shows and stuff like that is like still so surreal to me. Also, side note, you wearing that mask and talking is really throwing me off because your mouth isn't moving,
I
but
know,
I'm hearing it.
and your head is, you can hear it, so it's just like, oh my gosh.
It's really
That's awesome. That's
But yeah, I mean, it's been crazy to see the growth of the company, and even like RWBY as a show, even like besides Rooster Teeth, seeing that take off and get picked up in Japan, and just
exactly
how big the show's gotten there, and even coming to conventions and like meeting all you guys every time. It's just like I have to pinch myself every day. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's such a fun and amazing opportunity that I think, we're also grateful for to like every day, it's thank you all for, watching and being so supportive, because without you guys, we wouldn't be able to keep making the show. And I think that that's really something that, you guys forget, but that, the reason we make it for you, so the fact that you guys love it so much, and the fact that you've taken notice and realized how much, not only the company, but, the show has grown over the years, from the shadow people in the background all the way up to now the animation style. Clearly, we've come a long way, so I definitely appreciate it. It's been a fun ride. It's going to keep getting better and better. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your con.
You too.
My question is, other than your own character, whose character growth are you most excited to see?
To see?
I'm afraid to pin something down. That's the best part for Rooster Teeth with me, is as soon as you like say, oh, I think this would be very exciting, they're like, oh, do you? And then they one up and choose a different path. So I'm afraid to like say something because I know I'm going to be wrong.
Like most excited to see like
on screen?
On screen and
Yeah,
stuff?
like to see their character expand.
Is a fan of their character?
Yeah.
Oh, so just what character do we like looking at?
Yeah, like basically, who do you want to
performance
be more developed in the future?
I gotta say, there's something special about that Daddy Ironwood. He could get it. Just kidding. I love watching any of the villains in the show. The villains to me are like some of the most fun characters in RWBY. Salem is just insanely cool. I love Tyrion and how crazy he is. Ilya was one of my favorites as well, and I loved watching her on screen. Yeah, just honestly, like, it's exciting to get to see characters that you don't play, because just getting to see everyone else's performance in the show is so cool. So cool.
I was gonna say Salem. Yeah. Because she's cool. Just watching her and listening to the performance. And Cinder, she's so good. So good. But yeah,
really
choosing
cool
the bad guys. Why am I choosing the bad guy?
I love seeing the Grim and how they actually like turn out, like when you read, the script, you envision it in your head of how you think maybe it'll look, and then you see it, months later, years, whatever, long later, and I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, that is so creepy. How does it do that? I would have never thought that was what they were going up against. So it's really exciting to see all like the monsters. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with the villain too. And my favorite villain is Tyrion.
That's a good one too.
Because I'm of the opinion that if you're gonna hurt people, you need to enjoy it enough for both parties, right? And Tyrion does.
We're
Everybody
learning
else, like,
so much about you on this panel.
We are.
I'm just
Oh
saying,
my
like,
gosh.
when Cinder hurts people, she's all tragic about it, and it's like, nobody's happier for this. So just stop. But with Tyrion, it's like, you kind of get it. Like, at least someone's having fun.
Sure. Yeah. No, I made a comment to my husband when we were watching every show that we've watched. I used to go like, I can't wait to see how the heroes are what they're gonna do. And lately I'm like, the villains are way better, like in every show. And I was like, I think that's how you know you've become an adult. Yeah. You're like, no, I'm not interested in the heroes anymore. I want to know what the villains feel. So it's always that. But interestingly enough, what I'm always excited about when I do original animation or something that's not anime where we see the picture ahead of time, I like seeing how the script is going to transfer from the page to the final picture. And with RWBY, every time that I would record a scene, they would have all the directions, and I would imagine in my head what it was going to look like. And the best thing was my highest expectations were always it was even better when it was finished, and that's so much fun. So just watching every episode going from page to screen is really cool.
Thank you. Hello. So this is also my first con. So.
Isn't it cool?
Welcome to the show.
But my question is, what are the plans for potential RWBY spin-offs, and like how will the universe be expanded? What are your ideas that you want to explore?
For spin-offs, there's so many characters and so many storylines. I'm sure there's going to be something. Right now, I don't know of any solidified plans. I think we're just working through, RWBY proper at the time.
Company secrets, tell them.
Is there going to be like a restaurant review with Penny? Because can you make that happen?
Full circle coming back. I would love that.
That would be awesome.
Penny's life as a real girl. I would love that series. But yeah, I think we know how much the fan base loves all the different characters and all the different, backstories and everything. And I think we're all just hungry to learn more. So definitely I could see a possibility of a ton of different spin-off series. But right now we have no plans for it that I know of. And I forget what the second question was.
Oh, any like ideas or concepts that you want to explore in RWBY?
Oscar finds a friend.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mentioned Grimm earlier. I'm thinking like industrial usage for Grimm. A lot of them have superpowers and stuff. Maybe you stick them into a factory, and they could be a power source. I don't know.
Okay.
That is
sure.
Yeah. All right. Very practical.
Just when you thought the Grimm couldn't get any darker. Let's harvest them for energy.
today.
I've got it. You do a hamster wheel.
I'm
like
so nervous.
And then you just sit in front of the hamster wheel, and the Grimm
And
will run at you.
that's how our scrolls are powered.
Yeah, that's how we power the phones. You want the phone, don't you? Sorry, the scroll. The scroll. Just not a phone.
There we go.
I would love to see a Team Stark spinoff.
That would be really cool. That would be really cool.
I think there's just so much backstory there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much for being here. Give them a big round of applause to Cast RWBY, everybody.